Yeah, we're going to move on now and talk about Chelsea A versus Chelsea B. Chelsea versus Brighton.
That's very good.
Yeah, it is. Thanks. Oh, you inspired me, man. Interesting one for Chelsea because they haven't really kicked on from that Club World Cup success, have they? It's been a bit of a roller coaster start to the season, and their win in midweek in the Carabao Cup was their first in 4 games.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised they're not firing on all cylinders because their summer was reduced tenfold compared to everyone else because they did win the Club World Cup. And I think we probably didn't quite know the effect that was going to have and the hangover it potentially was going to just lead into the season. Obviously, Cole Palmer's been the one who's picked up a couple of injuries and you start going, well, is that a repercussion of the summer? I do feel Maresca's done a very good job there. I think he has a dynamic team that understand what he wants. I think they play very attacking football. I think you enjoy watching them. I think it's something I think will be difficult for them as they go with the season just because of the summer they had.
I want to pick up on the name you mentioned, Cole Palmer, Chelsea's talisman. There's no doubt about that. He's kind of been in and out of the side. It's a little bit unknown as to exactly what the state of his injury is. How much is he struggling? And it's no coincidence then that, without him and with that kind of uncertainty, they're not quite firing on all cylinders.
No, they're not. I mean, the defensive problems that they've had are very obvious, and he's lost a number of defenders in midweek. Yeah. But Cole Palmer is their inspiration, has been for a long time, despite all the money that they spent in the summer. The fact that he's going to be out now, they've said for 3 weeks, but in my experience of covering matches, the groin problem that he's got, I'd be surprised if he were back in 3 weeks. The other thing I would say is that what he does have in his favour, Maresca, and I agree he's done a good job. Buonanotte scored a terrific goal the other night and he's going to be absolutely raring to go. Esteval, we don't quite know whether he's fit or not, but if he is fit, he does look a super addition as well, very mature for his young age. Where I would worry most for Chelsea is at the back. Yeah. Because Brighton won 3 of their last 6 against them. Even when their players are fit and available, they're all still making defensive errors that are costing them and they're dropping away from that area at the top where they want to be. I think this could be a very, very interesting game and it might just tilt towards Brighton.
Yeah, Chelsea don't have their goalkeeper either after he was sent off against Manchester United. Enzo Maresca spoke about goalkeeper. Oh, they do have Robert Sanchez, reflecting on his form last season and this campaign.
I think Robert, for a long period, a long time, he was very good with us. The last part of last season, the beginning of the season, it was fantastic. He made a mistake against Man United, recognized that. And I said many times, keeper made mistake. It's like midfielder or defender or striker. It's exactly the same. We are happy with Robert. We are happy with Philip, both of them. And not any problem with Robert.
Yeah, Robert was sent off very early on against Manchester United, but the Carabao Cup counts for that 1-game suspension because it was dogso and not violent conduct. So they will have their goalkeeper. Brighton will be looking at this Chelsea defence, though, and thinking, they can get something here, will they?
Of course they will, because I think Brighton have always conducted themselves since they've been a Premier League side as a team that knows what they're about. They've got this wonderful record of just relentlessly producing talented young players, one after the other. And then there's just James Milner that keeps them all glued together. But yeah, they play very attacking, aggressive football. And I think that is the one thing for Chelsea. There's been some changes in that backline, whether it's forced for injury or just selection. And that naturally, defensively, I think does at times cause just disruption that sometimes you can't help. And sometimes I think it's unnecessary when you inflict it on yourself. But yeah, I think it'll be open. I think typically this is a game that serves goals. So
yeah, I mean, Chelsea got a great defensive record at home, and I think it's 4 home clean sheets in a row for 4 years. They're looking to wrap up. But I think as far as Brighton are concerned, I agree with you. They've got so many players in that forward line, intelligent players like Mitoma, like Adingra, players who can find a way past what will be a patchwork back line. They'll also try to take advantage of the fragile confidence of the keeper, who is prone to a rush of blood, and sometimes his distribution is not the best. I think this could be quite a high-scoring game because I think Brighton aren't defensively sound as well. But you can afford, if you're Brighton, the model is that they get players, develop them, sell them on. If you lose a few games along the way, that's okay because you're Brighton. But you're going to be okay. Chelsea cannot afford to be losing this game.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Brighton defensively, and you're wondering if it's going to be a crazy game. Just looking at the one we showed where they let a 2-goal lead slip against Spurs, will we get the Brighton that beat City or the Brighton that beat Spurs? I feel like you're not quite sure these days.
Well, they even had to come from behind to beat City, didn't they?
Yeah.
So they conceded in that game. And I think, 6-5?
I would enjoy that. I think this is a thing where both teams will feel they can play their way, and I think that is what will lead to it being an open game. I actually, Brighton defensively, I think they've got a mature backline that are very well knitted together.
Yeah.
It is set to be a good game, so watch it be 0-0.
Brighton have conceded 8 goals in their 5 games so far. I'm expecting a high-scoring game. I'm expecting to see when we get predictions later on. Can't wait for that. Now, Fabian Hurtler noted how Brighton's former players, now at Chelsea, add an extra dimension to the game.
In the end, it's a football game. In the end, of course, there might be a little bit more emotions in the game because a lot of players from Brighton moved there. So I think not everyone was happy about the moves, but it's football, we have to accept it. The only thing how we can answer on that is having good performance and trying to make our supporters happy and proud tomorrow and give them what they deserve.
Yeah, there is that extra spice of the former players. Has that ever happened to you? Have you ever had to, play against your former club? And what was that like?
Oh, I have. It does add another layer. For me, it was a nice experience. It was a sort of situation. It was my team I grew up supporting that I then faced. So it was in good spirits. And I think for the most part, so will this be. But naturally, there is extra emotion.
Yeah.
You play in your former team, or even if you're Brighton, come up against, players that you used to train with every day. There's always an extra edge. There's a few extra words in the pitch, in the right manner, hopefully. But I think you've got to lean into that emotion because it's part of the game.
Okay, well, we do hope it is going to be 6-5. And do you want a prize if it's 0-0? Have you decided what the prize is?
I should win a prize if it's 6-5.
Okay, we'll decide on the prizes and let us know. Okay, next up is Chelsea-Brighton. You've already given us your predictions for this one. Darren's gone 6-5 and Rachel's gone 0-0. So we'll leave it there. And enjoy the football, everybody. Thanks, Darren. Thanks, Rachel. We'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.